The War Council had given us one directive. Simple. Clean. Impossible to misunderstand. Do not engage the humans. My commander, Vrek of the Talmori Defense Fleet, had repeated those words 17 times during our briefing. 17. I counted because by the 9th repetition, I was wondering if he thought we were all suffering from neural degradation. But here's the thing about warnings. They only work if people listen. The Kralix Dominion didn't listen. I was there when they made first contact with Earth's colonization vessel, the Meridian Hope. 300 unarmed civilians. Families. Scientists. People who actually thought the galaxy was ready for their handshakes and their terrible coffee. The Kralix commander, a bloated fool named Gorthax, decided these soft creatures would make excellent slaves. He broadcast his intentions across every frequency, probably expecting the humans to beg. To negotiate. To surrender instead. Captain Maria Okonkwo responded with 6 words that should have been carved into every hull in the Kralix fleet. You have made a terrible mistake. Gorthax laughed. Actually laughed. The sound rattled through our monitoring station like rocks in a metal drum. He gave the order to fire on the Meridian Hope. That was 47 cycles ago. 47 cycles since the Kralix Dominion learned what Relentless really meant. You see, most species in the galaxy follow certain protocols. You attack. They defend. Maybe they counterattack. Eventually, someone sues for peace, territories get redrawn, and everyone goes home to lick their wounds while politicians argue about who started it. Humans don't do that. The first Kralix outpost fell within 10 days. Military analysts across 3 sectors watched the footage. The human fleet didn't bother with orbital bombardment. No, that would have been too quick. Too merciful. They landed ground forces and went door to door, room by room. They wanted every single Kralix soldier to know exactly why they were dying. For the Meridian Hope, the human soldiers said. Over and over. Like a prayer. Like a curse. Gorthax sent distress signals to his allies. The Brevik's Confederation responded with a battle group of 52 warships. Surely, they thought, surely this would be enough to crush one angry species. Wrong, the humans didn't meet them in open battle. Instead, they hacked the Brevik's navigation systems and sent the entire fleet into a decaying orbit around a gas giant. The Brevik's admiral tried to surrender. Tried to explain that they were just honoring an alliance. That they didn't know. Captain Okonkwo's face appeared on every Brevik screen. She looked tired. Not angry. Just tired. Like someone who had explained something too many times to a particularly stupid child. We warned your allies, she said, her voice flat, dead almost. We told Gorthax exactly what would happen. He chose violence against civilians. You chose to help him. So no. No surrender. No negotiation. No mercy. 52 ships. 11,000 Brevik's personnel. Gone. That's when the panic started spreading faster than a radiation leak. I watched from my observation post as 3 more species tried to rally against humanity. The Quellan Hive sent automated drone swarms, millions of them, thinking surely the humans couldn't track that many targets. The humans turned the drones against each other using some kind of viral code that made our best technicians weep into their data pads. Then they followed the control signals back to the Hive's central intelligence and, well, let's just say the Quellans are currently having a very animated debate about whether consciousness is really all that important. The Torth Empire tried economic warfare, cutting off human trade routes. The humans responded by crashing the Torth currency in under 3 cycles. Apparently humans had these things called day traders and hedge fund managers that they'd been keeping as pets. Who knew financial warfare could be so artistic? But here's what really got everyone's attention. What made my scales itch and my sleep cycles turn into waking nightmares. The humans were winning. Badly. Embarrassingly. And they weren't even trying that hard. I accessed the classified reports. The stuff the council didn't want spreading because, honestly, mass panic is bad for morale. Earth had committed maybe 15% of their military capacity to this pursuit. 15%. The rest of their forces? Still guarding their territory. Still on routine patrols. Still practicing drills. This was a minor inconvenience to them. A side project. Commander Vrek called another meeting. His face had taken on this greyish tint that our species gets when we're contemplating our own mortality. "They're not stopping," he said, and I swear his voice cracked. "Gorthax is dead. The Kralix government has dissolved. 17 species have issued formal apologies. The Galactic Council has offered reparations. The humans don't care. They just keep coming." "What do they want?" someone asked. Vrek pulled up a transmission. Recent. From Admiral James Keller of the Earth Defense Coalition. The message was simple. Terrifying in its simplicity. Every species that raised a weapon against human civilians will answer for it. Every leader who gave those orders will face justice. Every government that supported them will fall. This is not a negotiation. This is a promise. We will pursue you to the edge of known space and beyond if necessary. There is nowhere you can hide that we won't find you. No fortress we won't breach. No fleet we won't destroy. You wanted to see what humanity does when pushed. Now you know. And knowing won't save you. The transmission ended. Silence filled our council chamber like water filling a sinking ship. Someone, I forget who, whispered the question we were all thinking. How do we stop them? Vrek looked old then. Ancient. Like he'd aged 100 cycles in 47 days. "We don't," he said. "We pray we're not on their list." That's when the alarms started screaming. Human ships. In our sector. Heading straight for the Kralix remnant fleet that had taken refuge in our asteroid fields. They'd found them, and they were coming through our space to get them. The thing about human warships is they don't look intimidating. Not at first glance anyway. Kralix dreadnoughts. Those things are all spikes and angles, designed to make you wet yourself just looking at them. Brevik's carriers resemble floating fortresses, bristling with enough firepower to glass a planet. Even our Talmori cruisers have that sleek, predatory aesthetic that says, "I am dangerous, please respect my personal space." Human ships look like cargo haulers had angry children with industrial mining equipment. Blocky. Practical. Ugly as sin. But here's what I learned watching them cross into our territory. Aesthetics don't mean squat when your enemy can calculate firing solutions faster than your computer can process the threat warning. Commander Vrek was having what I can only describe as a full-scale mental breakdown in the most dignified way possible. He kept opening communication channels to the human fleet, then closing them, then opening them again. Like he was trying to work up the courage to tell a predator to please not eat him. "They're in violation of the Talmori Sovereignty Treaty," Junior Officer Plax said, her voice shaking so hard I thought she might vibrate through the floor. We could file a formal complaint with the Galactic Council." I laughed. Actually laughed out loud. The sound came out harsh and bitter, like acid eating through metal. "Oh yes, brilliant plan. Let's file paperwork. That'll stop the species that just turned 3 interstellar empires into cautionary tales." I couldn't help myself. The hysteria was contagious. Maybe we should ask them to fill out a visitor's form too. Check the box that says purpose of visit, revenge. Vrek shot me a look that could have flash-frozen hydrogen, but he didn't disagree. The human fleet, all 12 ships of it, just 12, cruised through our sensor nets like they owned the place. Which, let's be honest, they basically did now. Ownership is just a matter of who can enforce their will, and we definitely weren't going to enforce anything. "Sir," our tactical officer croaked. "The Kralix remnant is breaking from the asteroid field. They're making a run for the hyperspace lane." "Smart," I muttered. "Run first, die tired." That's when Captain Okonkwo's face appeared on every screen in our station. Unbidden. Unwanted. Unavoidable. She looked even more tired than before. There were dark circles under her eyes that spoke of too many battles and not enough sleep. But her gaze. Sharp. Focused. Like a laser cutter that could see straight through your excuses and into your soul. "Talmori Defense Fleet," she said, and I noticed she didn't say greetings or salutations or any of the diplomatic niceties species usually exchanged. Just straight to business. "We are aware you are harboring Kralix war criminals. Stand down. Do not interfere. We will be gone within the hour." Vrek found his voice somewhere between terror and professionalism. "Captain Okonkwo, those ships requested asylum under Galactic Law Article 42, Section 7. We are legally obligated to provide sanctuary. Okonkwo blinked slowly. Once. Twice. Like she was processing whether this conversation was really happening. Article 42 doesn't apply to species who fire on civilian vessels, she said, her tone suggesting she was explaining basic mathematics to a particularly slow child. Your law. Your Galactic Council's law. Check subsection 14, paragraph 9. We did our homework. Did you? Vrek's scales went from grey to white. He'd actually checked. Before she even finished speaking, he'd pulled up the statute and there it was, plain as starlight. The exception clause. The one nobody ever paid attention to because nobody ever actually enforced it. Leave it to humans to read the fine print. Now, Okonkwo continued. You have two options. Option 1. You sit there quietly, we retrieve the war criminals, and everyone goes home. You can even file your complaint with the council. We won't stop you. Won't even be mad about it. And option 2? Vrek asked, though his voice suggested he really didn't want to know. Okonkwo's smile was colder than deep space. You try to stop us. Then we have to go through you. And trust me, Commander. You don't want to be between us and our objective. Nothing personal. Just physics. Immovable object, unstoppable force. You're not immovable. I watched Vrek's face cycle through about 17 different emotions in 3 seconds. Anger. Indignation. Fear. Resignation. More fear. Finally landing on pragmatic survival instinct. All units stand down, he ordered. Repeat. Stand down. Let them pass. The Kralix ships were screaming across every frequency now. Begging us to help. Offering us technology. Territory. Wealth. Everything they had. We did nothing. Because here's what the Kralix never understood. What the Breviks and the Quellans and all the others learned too late. Humans don't fight like us. We fight until it's too costly. Until the math doesn't work anymore. Until surrender makes more sense than victory. Humans fight until they win. Period. End of calculation. The pursuit lasted 37 minutes. I watched it on long-range sensors. The Kralix ships were faster. Should have escaped. Would have escaped from any other species. But humans don't just chase you. They predict where you're going. Cut you off. Herd you like animals into killing zones. It was beautiful in the most horrifying way possible. Like watching a dance where one partner didn't know the steps and kept stumbling into knives. When it was over, Captain Okonkwo sent one final transmission to our station. Thank you for your cooperation, Commander Vrek. We'll note in our report that you acted in accordance with interstellar law. No hard feelings. No hard feelings. Like she'd just borrowed our tools and was returning them undamaged. The human fleet departed our space exactly 53 minutes after entering it. Efficient. Professional. Terrifying. Vrek slumped in his command chair, looking like he'd aged another century. Put it in the log, he said quietly. Date. Time. Everything. And add a new standing order to our defensive protocols. Sir? Plax asked. If human ships ever enter our space again, Vrek said, his voice steady now, resigned. We observe. We record. We do absolutely nothing else. The Galactic Council gave us a warning. Do not engage the humans. From now on, that warning is gospel. That warning is law. That warning is the only thing between us and what happened to the Kralix. I pulled up the final casualty reports from the 47-cycle campaign. 17 species had learned the same lesson we just did. Some learned it cheaper than others. The Meridian Hope carried 300 souls. 300 civilians who just wanted to see new worlds. The price for killing them? 11 governments toppled. 400,000 military personnel dead or captured. 17 species now living in fear of the day humans might remember some other grievance. And the humans? They'd lost maybe 2,000 soldiers. Maybe. The reports were still coming in, but the ratio was obscene. Embarrassing. A mathematical proof that some species just think differently about acceptable losses. Plax looked at me, her eyes wide. They really won't stop, will they? Not ever. I thought about Captain Okonkwo's tired eyes. About Admiral Keller's cold promise. About the methodical, relentless, absolutely unstoppable way humans pursued their objectives. No, I said. They won't. That's what makes them terrifying. Not their weapons. Not their tactics. The fact that they mean what they say. Every single time. Vrek pulled up the original warning. The one we'd received 47 cycles ago. The one the Kralix had ignored. Do not engage the humans. 5 words. 5 simple words that could have prevented all of this. But the Kralix didn't listen. And the galaxy would remember that mistake for generations. Somewhere out there, the human fleet was already hunting their next target. Another species that had ignored the warning. Another government that thought humans were bluffing. They weren't. They never were. And the galaxy was finally learning what Relentless really meant.
Hello everyone. If you are enjoying this video and finding it helpful, don't forget to support our channel. Please subscribe to our channel, press the like button, and share this video with your friends and family. Also, make sure to turn on the notification bell so you never miss our upcoming videos. We regularly upload amazing, informative, and entertaining content just for you. Your support means a lot to us and motivates us to bring even better content in the future. Thank you so much for watching, and welcome to our growing community.